And gentlemen, recently, the Nairobi MCS decided to impeach Johnson Sakaja. Now, after they had started pushing the motion within the County Assembly of Nairobi, later on there were rumors that they are going to have a meeting in Karen with Raila Odinga and Johnson Sakaja. And ladies and gentlemen, Sakaja came out smiling from this meeting. For those who remember before, Johnson Sakaja one time was involved in a problem where flooding was all over Nairobi. He had not done proper preparations in relation to the long rains that were coming at that time, or heavy rains. And now people of Nairobi were blaming him because flooding was all over until even Runda itself. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened is that Raila Odinga personally came out to speak in support of Johnson Sakaja. And actually that marked the beginning of the good relationship between Johnson Sakaja and Raila Odinga in public. Rumors went around that Raila Odinga had been given 200 million to save Johnson Sakaja. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, the same rumors are going around that Raila Odinga was given about 400 million to save Johnson Sakaja's impeachment plot within the Nairobi County Assembly.
Just as I was getting ready for the removal of Johnson Sakaja, I was getting prepared to celebrate. Raila Odinga decides to do ile kitu yake. Yeye kazi yake tu anatumianga ODM to sell and to enrich himself. He has never ever wanted to be a leader in this country except selling political tokens. He is happy to be paid by any president who wins. He himself, he has no interest in becoming the president. And you know, when you become a president, you assist people who supported you. But for Raila, it's only about himself. Everyone is claiming he has received 400 million, allegedly, to save Sakaja.
On this particular video, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through on some of the reasons as to why Raila Odinga has saved Sakaja once again. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Without much wasting of time, allow me to dive into this topic here today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if there's a county that must work, it is Nairobi. And I'm telling you, among the governors that were elected with Kenyans, with a lot of optimism, it is Johnson Sakaja. When the people of Nairobi watched the debate between Johnson Sakaja and Polycarp Igathe, they felt that Johnson Sakaja is more of reasoning with the common mwananchi than Polycarp Igathe. Polycarp Igathe was taken to be a deep state or maybe a dynasty candidate. And Johnson Sakaja also seemed to be much more conversant with the issues of the people of Nairobi than Polycarp Igathe. Now, when the people decided now to vote, most of them voted for Johnson Sakaja. A clear indication that the people of Nairobi had hopes, very high hopes, on Johnson Sakaja's governance as the head of the Nairobi County. But now, slowly, people started feeling that Johnson Sakaja is not people-centered, but selfishly making himself rich day by day. And when you walk around Nairobi, you are able to see people telling you, actually, when I was there, people were telling me, that building there, those flats are for Sakaja. This one's here is for Sakaja. A clear indication that people are watching closely on the moves of Johnson Sakaja. Now, apart from the flooding that occurred at that time, there were also issues to do with garbage collection. Recently, I visited Nairobi and actually managed to go to Dagoretti North. And at a place called 46, Kawangware 46, there's a huge heap of garbage just by the roadside within the business center. And nobody is bothering about moving it from there. It's huge. To an extent, I can say it's maybe on the first or maybe third floor of a building when I try to compare. That was very unfortunate. And I actually did a video on my TikTok asking Geoffrey Musiria that, where do you usually do your garbage collection? Is it just Nairobi CBD, or you should also extend your energies to various parts where even the poor people live? That is not the basis of my video here today. The basis of my video are the reasons as to why Raila Amolo Odinga saved Johnson Sakaja again. Number one in my list, it is the issue to do with money. Rumors in politics are not very far from the reality, in the sense that what Kenyans are saying emanates from somewhere. And in the Kenyan politics, so long as politicians are supporting each other, there must be money that has been involved. So therefore, the allegations that Raila Amolo Odinga was paid once again cannot be just ruled out. There's a possibility there was money or value exchange in relation to saving Johnson Sakaja's career as a governor of Nairobi. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that Johnson Sakaja, as we speak today, is from the UDA party. And the people who are supposed to impeach him are from the ODM's party. A clear indication that, ladies and gentlemen, the ODM people, there's a likelihood they were not so much interested in impeaching Johnson Sakaja, but to create certain environment for a deal go through, for certain political demand to be made. So after creating that kind of a circus, they now pulled their attention, they got the attention of the governor and the entire UDA team. A meeting occurred, and eventually these people got their deal home. That is what I feel that happened, in the sense that it was not even so much about the impeachment, but the deal that was signed now, the alleged deal. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, in politics, nothing just happens in benefit without money exchange. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, let me also remind you that in Nairobi, at that time, when there were floods, and then houses were sunk by water, even rich people were in trouble. I once saw the Chief Justice Martha Koome coming out and saying that they were also in trouble because of the flooding. She stays in Runda, and water literally affected them there. Ladies and gentlemen, but Raila Amolo Odinga had the audacity to come out and still defend Sakaja at that point, when vehicles could not move, people could not live in their houses, the rich and the poor both affected. Raila Amolo Odinga still had the guts to come out and support Johnson Sakaja, a clear indication of money exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, the other part is the Raila-Ruto deal. The relationship of Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto right now can cause anything, can lead to anything. William Ruto could not have allowed Johnson Sakaja to be impeached. And therefore, Raila Amolo Odinga had to be called by William Ruto and tell Raila Amolo Odinga to go and have a discussion with Johnson Sakaja and the MCAs so that they can harmonize their differences. So I feel one of the reasons as to why Raila Amolo Odinga had to save Johnson Sakaja, it's because of his deal with William Ruto. They had to sit down and agree that at this point, let's do this and that. So this is simply the broad-based arrangement that Raila Amolo Odinga had to save Johnson Sakaja. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak today, everyone knows that the broad-based government, they have some arrangements going forward. And impeaching Johnson Sakaja was one of the ways to end some of the good agreements that they have, especially the benefits that are coming going forward. So therefore, to protect their interests, Johnson Sakaja had to be safe. And therefore, Raila Amolo Odinga had to ensure that Johnson Sakaja has not been impeached and that he's in office just as they had agreed by the other core principle within the broad-based government. So to secure their future, Johnson Sakaja had to be safe. I don't know what is your take, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abel Mukua. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel.